mentorship is something that I'm really, really passionate about because we are in the process of becoming who we're meant to be. And there are a lot of confusing things that are going on. And having somebody who has taken that road before, or who has a little more life experience, or who can support you in a different way, or someone that you can just talk to has so much value. And having a formal relationship or even an informal mentor can be really fun and exciting. And on your gap year, when things can seem a little bit more turbulent, when things are a little less structured, having somebody there in your corner as your cheerleader, as your go-to person, can be so helpful on this journey. So really excited that you guys are here to learn a little bit more about that. So let me know in the chat who's here. Just say a little hello. That's all I'm interested in. Just say hello. So that I know that I haven't already bored you to sleep, because I want to make sure that this is helpful to you. All right, so let's jump into finding a mentor. Yeah, I think it can make all the difference in a really successful gap year. So I want you to think about who has been a mentor in your life so far. Hi, Ken. Maybe it was a teacher. Ken, I believe you're a dad. So was it a boss or a manager? Who was that person in your life that has acted as a mentor for you? This could be in a formal capacity or an informal capacity, maybe somebody you just looked up to. I'd love to know in the chat who that is. For me, I had a couple. I had one of my co-directors when I was working for a charity. Really looked up to her. She had an incredible sense of organization, a real incredible sense of commitment towards her employees. And it was something that I really admired. And I really learned a ton from her about how to operate within the organization I was working for. So it was really cool to have that person there for me. And a lot of students that I talk to, they often have that one teacher that they gravitate towards. That one teacher maybe that aligns with their values or has similar interests or is just really cool and you just vibe with them. And that's the type of person that can become a mentor for you. So I think it's really important. And they can have really significant impacts on our lives. I will always remember that I ended up at McMaster University when I went to school, and I didn't know where I wanted to go. I had tons of different options in front of me. I was one of those, and I didn't know which way to go. And I remember my grade 12 physics, well, my OAC, because I'm that old, my OAC, my grade 13 physics teacher said, "Michelle, you look like a Mac girl." And that single comment really held a lot of weight for me. And I ended up going to McMaster, not solely because he told me I should, but because I really held his opinion in high regard. And I looked at McMaster in a whole new light, and I explored it, and I went and I did a campus tour, and it was something that really shaped the course of the rest of my life. So I know teachers can really play that role. So when we step out of school and we step away from most of our peers who are going off in another direction, having somebody there that can anchor you, that can give you advice, that you can have conversations with, that isn't mom or dad, can be really helpful. Mom and dad, we love you to bits, but you're not always the first person we want to turn to when we are seeking life advice. You are part of our support community, but we also need perhaps maybe another mentor in our lives. Now, there are so many different kinds of mentors. And I think that this sometimes surprises people, that it's not just the traditional mentor that we think from like a career perspective that's going to give you guidance and your next steps and listen to your professional concerns and will help you there. There are lots of other ways that people show up as mentors. So you can have peer mentors, and sometimes we hear about this in the high schools or in colleges or university, where you talk to each other And so like our Gapper Connect, that is another way that we can get you connected to a peer mentor. So cangap.ca/Gapper, oopsies, Gapper Connect. I'll pop the link in there. So we have a Discord server that brings together all people who are all on a gap year. And it's a really great community. It's built up of alum. It's built up of people who are considering a gap year, people who are committed. So it's a really great place to find that peer mentorship, which is really helpful. Another type of mentor is an aspirational one. So this is the person who is up there that you want to be like, whether it is from a professional standpoint, whether it's from a personal standpoint, but somebody there that is your kind of North Star, your guiding beacon, something that you are working towards. You can also have a practical person, somebody that you can just walk up to and be like, give it to me straight. What do I need to do? Here's what I'm thinking. Here's where I'm going. What are your thoughts? And it's very, very, very transactional, that they're very, very supportive there. They're going to give you some guidance on next steps and get you going in the right direction. I also have a coping mentor. So when things are not going so well, there's often somebody that you can turn to share some of those challenges, and that can help you to cope with the challenges that exist and move through them. One that I love that is really important is an identity mentor, because in the age that you are, as you are moving out of adolescence into adulthood, out of being a child in your parents' home to an adult, a lot of things are changing and shifting for you, and you become more independent, and it's time to also become more confident in who you are. And so having somebody who can help you navigate that is really important. So that could be somebody of a similar community that you belong to, whether that's a faith community, whether that's the LGBTQ community, whether that is the Black community, a cultural community, whatever that is. Maybe it's the vegan community, maybe it's whatever part of your identity is. Maybe there's somebody out there that can help guide you and figure out who you are and ask that type of question. So when you're looking for a mentor, it's important to ask yourself, okay, well, which style of mentor am I looking for? And it will help guide you in the right direction for finding that type of mentor. So I'm curious, what are some of the things that might stop you from having a mentor? And I've got a pretty good idea what some of these things are. So let's talk about what those things are. So before I jump into the next slide, what stops you from having a mentor? A lot of people talk about, well, how do I even find a mentor? This is a big question for a lot of people. How do I even find a mentor? What does that look like? How do I do that? How do I know if it's going to be a good relationship? So let's talk about actually finding that mentor and how does that work? And I like to talk about it in concentric circles. So not a bullseye. We're not looking to get to the middle. We're actually starting in the middle and working our way out. This is the best way for you to find a mentor that's going to be a good match for you. So you got to start as close to you as possible. Who do you already know that might fill one of those mentorship roles for you? Is it an old teacher or a guidance counselor? Is it maybe your pastor or your rabbi or somebody in your faith community? Is it a really cool aunt or uncle? Is it your neighbor? So who are those people that you're already connected with? And that's the place to start to find a mentor, because the likelihood of somebody becoming your mentor is almost directly proportional to how much they trust you, how much they know you. If I was just to jump on LinkedIn and pick Mark Beckles of RBC, the head of RBC Future Launch, be like, hey, will you be my mentor? The odds are pretty low that he would do it. So we're going to start close to us and move farther away from us. So who do you already know is your best shot? But let's actually go one step out. What's that next circle out? Who do your parents know? So maybe you're thinking that you want to be, in medicine. Maybe that's something you're interested in. Then look not only to your immediate circle, but who do your parents know? Do they know a dentist? Do they know a physiotherapist? Do they know a brain surgeon? Do they know a nurse? Do they know a public health agent? Like looking at all of these things and then asking for an introduction to that person and have just an exploratory conversation. Do you get along with them? Would it be good to have an ongoing relationship with them? Lots of really great things can come out of those conversations. So going from yourself to your parents' network can be really helpful. And then I want you to think one step beyond that. So what are other networks that you are connected to that you can reach out to? So perhaps you have been or are still involved in sport or art or a faith community. Who within that community might act as a mentor for you? So you can start to actually see that you're connected. You already have some aligned interests, some aligned values. Maybe there is a coach. Maybe there is somebody out there that would be interested in mentoring you along your gap year journey. And kind of at the other end of the spectrum, we can use social media. And we have to be very, very specific in what we're asking for when we're reaching out looking for social media. If somebody just says, I'm looking for a mentor, you know anyone? I'm going to scroll past that because that's not helpful. But if I saw a post that said, I'm taking a gap year and I am wanting to become a mechanic, but I don't know where to start. Do you know anybody in the Burlington area who could mentor me? Oh my goodness. Now I have more information. Now I know, hey, I'm also in Burlington. Hey, my husband's a mechanic. He might really like this. And you can see that now that I know the information, I'm much better able to help. So use your social media and see who in your extended network might be there as a mentor. Now, if none of these are going to work for you, Mentorship Canada has its own app. So if you actually go to mentoringcanada.ca, there is at the very bottom a matching app. So you actually put in your postal code, click submit, and it will pull up a list of mentoring organizations near you. So some of them are virtual and they run nationally, but some of them are very local, and it will actually indicate whether it is a virtual mentoring opportunity or in person, and it will give you the location. So it can be really helpful if you're looking for somebody who is also looking to be matched. So you're not just going to be cold reaching out to someone. You can be matched that way, which can be really, really helpful as well. So you can check them out as an opportunity. Now, something I didn't put on here, actually, I think I did. Let me go and see. So now that you've kind of identified somebody you think you might like to be matched with, the best thing to do is get a warm introduction. Somebody who knows you, somebody who knows them, can they set you up? So we're kind of thinking like matchmaking here. We're thinking who knows me, who knows them, and who can vouch that we would be a good fit together as a mentee and mentor. So getting maybe your coach to make an introduction, or a teacher, or your parent, and get them to come together. Get you both of you to come together. Now you want to start off with something super light. Can we meet for a Zoom coffee date? Just want to chat through and see if we could have a chat about your career or your faith journey or whatever that happens to be, and just set it up as a one-off. Set it up as a one-off conversation to see if you are going to be a good fit. You don't want to be proposing to somebody on the first date. You want to have that first date to see if you are actually a match. And don't hesitate to reach out to them. Don't be shy. The worst possible thing they can do is say, no, I don't have time for that, or I'm not interested, or ignore you altogether. Nothing bad is going to come from reaching out and putting yourself out there. Only good things will come. And let me tell you that people, like being asked to be a mentor, being asked to share your expertise with someone is very flattering. Someone who finds me on LinkedIn and direct messages me and say, wow, your career sounds really cool. I'm just starting on my journey and I'd love to learn more about yours. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty honored that they think that my career is cool. And I think my career is cool. So of course I want to talk about it. So having those conversations is a lot easier than it sounds. When you're having those conversations, obviously be polite and courteous and professional in the emails that you're writing and the voicemails that you're leaving, and make sure that you're going to follow up. So even if you don't hear back from them the first time, jump in and give them a follow up and say, hey, I know you're busy, just following up on this request from before, and just make sure that you follow up, because maybe it is not that they're not interested. Maybe they just let it slip to the bottom of their inbox. Whatever it is, give them a little follow up, and always offer them an alternative. You don't want to be proposing on the first date. Let them know that you would love to have a conversation with them, but just one conversation. Can I just ask you a couple questions about being a pediatrician? Or can I just ask you a couple questions about my choice of university? Whatever that is, offer an alternative that is much, much smaller of a commitment, and you may turn that no into a yes. Now, we at CanGap, we can help provide you with mentors. So as part of our Gap Year game plan, oh my goodness, I don't know why you can't see some of that. Anyways, as part of our Gap Year game plan, we do mentor and coach you along the way. If you are part of our award track, you meet with one of us for coaching, usually Jazz, every single month, where we will connect. We answer your questions. We have office hours, and I'm not sure if any of our current Gap Year game planners are in here, but we make ourselves available to answer your questions and give you guidance. And I think it's really helpful to have a reliable adult that's around to support you and answer your questions, and people who are familiar with the Gap Year space, because it is a little bit of a unique journey. So I will pop in the game plan link. .ca/whoopsies. CanGap.ca/game plan. So if you are looking for a support while you are on this journey, you can check that out. But if you're looking for a little bit of support in your decision-making journey, if you're looking for some support in finding that initial pathway for you, we offer free 30-minute consultation calls. And I think that that's really important that you know that you can book a call with us. We'll set aside 30 minutes to chat with you. And make sure that you have all the answers to your Gap Year questions. We are a nonprofit organization. We are here to support you on your journey and give you the resources that you need. And this is really what excites us the most. And I think that's what sets Jazz and I apart, is that we have committed ourselves to supporting young people and to coaching and helping them on their journey. So if you want to jump on that call, get some information, that is fully available to you there as well. So I think it's really important just to know that these resources exist, and there's lots of stuff that we can do to help you on your journey. Now, I know this was kind of a high-level version of the mentorship pathway and the mentorship support, and I was hoping there was going to be a little more interaction, but it's been quiet. So I'd love to hear in the comments what questions you have about mentorship or about gap years in general. We've got about 9 minutes before the next panel start. So if you have questions, by all means, feel free to pop them into the chat while I take a sip and piece of pineapple. I'm pretty thirsty after talking since 3 o'clock. If you don't have any questions, please feel free to use this time. Head over to the expo. Check out some of those opportunities that are there for you. Lots of really, really great things for you to check out. Whether you're looking for volunteer opportunities, local opportunities, international opportunities, entrepreneurship is in there. There's a little bit of something for everyone in there. So you can feel free to head there and check it out. And I'm not seeing any questions coming in. So I am also going to take a quick break before our next sessions start. So thanks so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the expo.